Our next guest is a three-time first-team All-Pro. He won a Super Bowl as well. He's a member of the Washington Ring of Fame, and two of his former teams are going to be playing this weekend in the NFC East, Washington and Philadelphia, going at it from Lincoln Financial Field in Philly today. Joining us here on the show, Brian Mitchell, now for NBC Sports Washington. Brian, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, bud. Thanks so much for joining us. And the last time we saw Case Keenum on this field was 2 years ago, NFC Championship game, and the Eagles defense just gobbled him alive. Do you expect Keenum to have a better day this time around?
Well, you look at the Eagles defense, they're basically the same defense. They're still very good. And then Case is now with a team that doesn't have as good of an offensive line that he had when he was with Minnesota. So you would expect them to have some trouble. With Eric Flowers at left guard, you have Donald Penn, a guy many had thought was retired, and now he's back. And I think Donald still has a lot of experience, veteran guy who understands how to play the position. But Eric Flowers is that situation where it did not work at tackle for the Giants or the Jaguars. Now the Redskins are going to try him at guard. We'll see if it works. From what I watched this the preseason, he's very good if he's just going straight at someone. He can engulf him. He's a huge guy. But if he has to move around, he has problems, and I'm sure the Eagles will make him have to move.
Trent Williams is one of the best offensive linemen in football. Many have called him the best at his position, but he is not reporting to Washington. How do you think this thing ends between Williams and the team?
Well, he supposedly is in town now, so that's better than what it was. Last week it was like, well, there's no chance, not a chance in hell that he's going to be here for week one. Well, he's not here. And then there came out another report that he'll be back sooner rather than later. At least he's now in the state of Virginia. So he was in Texas before. Now he's in the state of Virginia. So you would think that something is working towards him returning. I think it would be great if he does because, like you said, Trent is very good. And I know a lot of people claim he gets hurt a lot, but the only reason that he shuts down, the team was out the playoffs, and they wanted him to shut down. They didn't want to, extend any more injury to him, so he shuts down. He plays hurt. He's very good at what he does, but when you have a problem with the medical staff, and that supposedly is the reason that he's been holding out, that's hard to overcome. The people that's supposed to put you on the field, you got to have straight faith and trust in those guys. And you don't have that, that's a big problem to fix.
Brian Mitchell joins us here on the show from NBC Sports Washington, looking ahead to the Washington-Philadelphia matchup. And when it comes to this Eagles team, Nick Foles is now in Jacksonville, so there's nobody looking over the shoulder of Carson Wentz. So there's not a lot of questions about Carson Wentz except for durability. Does his durability worry you at all about being the man without a backup plan like Foles?
It worries me if they're going to continue using him like they did before. I've always stated that job is Doug Peterson's job. When you watch Carson Wentz in the game, they have him doing so much, the read zones and all those things. Basically, you're putting your quarterback in harm's way. But when Nick Foles is in, he basically ran play action pass, drop back and threw the football, or just drop back and threw the ball. It was much more simplified. Well, if Carson Wentz is your guy, and he was on pace to be the MVP a few years back, if he's that guy, you allow him to do the exact same things Nick Foles did. You have the weapons around him help him. You got a guy like Deshaun Jackson who's going to mean the safety's going to always be deep. They're not going to be in the box. And you got Zach Ertz, who I don't think nobody, linebacker or safety, going to check one-on-one. So Alshon Jefferson, you begin to move around like that, they have weapons. So why make Carson Wentz do so much? Simplify it a little bit, make him play the game that Nick Foles did, and you protect him a lot better.
Let's go back to Thursday night. Another young quarterback that was asked to do something and didn't deliver was Mitchell Trubisky. Do you think that Trubisky is an Achilles heel for the Bears from trying to win a Super Bowl?
I think the way that they handle preseason is an Achilles heel. I think Trubisky, we could see his growth from one year to the next. And then last night, when you look at him on Thursday, the whole thing about him, just like a lot of teams, you're going to see this weekend. Guys did not play all preseason. And I don't know what this new era, this new coaching mindset, and think you can not play guys for 4 games and then throw them into the first game and they're going to just hit the ground running. That does not work. You have to get yourself prepared to play football. And I think the problem with the league right now, even the injury, guys aren't getting prepared to play football. And if they keep doing that, you're going to have quarterbacks coming out the gate something like a Trubisky. He's not Tom Brady, who probably cannot play in the playoffs and then step into a game and be on point. He'll still be a little rusty. He hasn't had that experience enough yet to be able to do that. And I think coaches have to push it to make sure guys be able to do it.
So you think this league-wide trend of just not playing anybody in the preseason is actually hurting the development of specifically young quarterbacks?
Yes, I think it definitely is. And see, the thing about it is you get a lot of suits sitting in the room and decide they're going to decide how to handle this game of football. The game of football, you have to be in the action to make sure you go out there and you start figuring out how fast it's moving, how quick your decisions have to be. You sit on the sideline and you see somebody else doing it, you know what you're doing? You're seeing how quick their decisions have to be, not yours. So when you get into it, it changes for you a little bit. And I think it has hindered the growth of the young quarterback, hindered the growth of some other players, especially offensive linemen. They have to get into that. And now you got teams sitting their whole starting unit all the way through preseason. It makes no sense.
Brian Mitchell joins us, NBC Sports Washington, former three-time All-Pro in the NFL. So let me ask you then about Odell Beckham. He has not played in the preseason as well. Everybody expects the Browns to have this enormous season and Odell to kind of bounce back. Do you think that he'll be slow out of the gates because he did not play in the preseason?
Odell, just like anybody else, is going to be able to run straight routes. And if nobody's checking him and they go a go route and they don't hinder him, he'll be able to do that because right now the guys are training running full speed. They do treadmills. They do all types of drills. But whenever someone shows up and he has to make that instinctive cut, will he be able to do those things on a consistent basis? Those are the things that affects guys. So I would think that, yes, he'll come out slow, unless the team they're playing defense is awful and they don't really make him have to do a lot. If I'm a team and I'm playing a guy that has not been playing, I'm going to put the pressure on him to make him have to show me not only is he ready to go out the gate, but is he in shape? You know, I can remember the days that I played, and I talked to a lot of my old teammates. We went the first week to make sure we knew we can go a whole quarter. Then the next week, 2 quarters. Then the next week, we would try to push it to 3 quarters, and we wanted to be able to know that. And then now when you go, if you can push 3 quarters out of it in preseason, you can damn sure push it out in the regular season, the whole game. These guys don't know if they can go a full quarter or a half yet because most of them have not done it.
So do you think that's going to prevent Ezekiel Elliott from running the football more than, say, 12 to 15 times against the Giants?
He can get it more than 12 to 15 times. And I think what happened with Ezekiel Elliott, you'll find out, is he truly in shape? And this is the difference between in shape and in football shape. He might be able to go out there and run 12, 15, 18 of them, but how's the recovery period going to be? You know, once he slows down a little bit in halftime, will he be able to just jump back up in the second half like he would be if he was in the middle of a season or come into the season after playing 4 preseason games? You know, it's going to hinder everybody a little bit, but then when you start looking at some of these guys, Zeke is an unbelievable talent. A lot of the guys are just exceptional talent, and they can still overcome it or find a way to still be successful. But they still won't be the guys that they would be if they had approached preseason in a serious manner. And it's not on just players today. It's mostly on the coaches that run offices when guys don't play in preseason and they don't attempt to put them out there.
Brian Mitchell joining us this morning here on Sunday Morning Football. You can watch him at NBC Sports Washington. He's one of the greatest returners in NFL history, 3-time All-Pro, and so good to have his insight here on the NFL's Week Number 1. Brian, it is always a thrill to catch up, my man. Thanks so much. This was great as always. Hopefully we can do it again this football season.
I appreciate it. I'm sure we will.
All right, man. Thanks so much.